with the battle cry go forth, which is give the people what they want, and what the people want could only be the senseless slaughter of the shitty movies that litter this nation for your entertainment. Yes, this is the show where people bet their lives to rate movies, because when your life is shit, then you've got nothing to lose on Raimirama.
That was pretty good, Casey. I think the Guar reference totally flew over my head, and I'm sure Chris's as well. But I greatly respect Guar and all they represent.
R.I.P. Odorous.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was just gonna do a cold open. I discovered the David Naughton series of Dr. Pepper commercials last week, and they're probably the greatest commercials I've ever seen in my life. If you have not seen them, they're from the late 70s, 80s. And it's David Naughton of American Werewolf in London fame. This is how he got that part, apparently. They discovered him from these commercials, which, like, doesn't happen anymore. You know, you rarely see that. I think the AT&T girl, who was, like, she's done a lot of improv and stuff, but she got, like, a part in Werewolves Within. And I don't know if that was because of the commercials, but, I mean, you don't generally see people that are, like, known as commercial actors these days in film, unless they're already like actors that are just doing commercial work. You know,
can't wait for Flo to be a werewolf now.
Yeah, I know, right? But no, David Naughton is fantastic in this, and he was actually a singer and a dancer, and I highly recommend checking them out. They're really entertaining. They don't make commercials like that anymore, guys.
If you do not mention it to him at Monster Palooza,
I should.
I'm gonna loudly yell that you're a coward.
I'm gonna ask him if I can be a pepper.
Just give him a Dr. Pepper, and then look him in the eyes, and if he looks back at you, just nod.
Yeah. Iron sharpens iron.
I'm sure he's gotten so many Dr. Peppers. I'm sure he's like sick and tired of Dr. Pepper. Yeah, but I have not had a Dr. Pepper in a good while, so I need to get me some.
You can never be sick of some sexy battery liquid.
No, and now they're in the cool Jurassic World cans. You can pick your taste adventure if you've seen the store display. Each one has a different dinosaur on it.
Yeah, check out the Mickey. Sorry, go ahead, Casey.
There are a lot more variants of Dr. Pepper than I thought. There's like 5 different dinosaurs.
That's cool. I need to check those out. And you guys should check out the David Naughton commercials, especially the Mickey Rooney one. It is fantastic because Mickey Rooney's in it, of course. But yeah, I think we all should be peppers. The world would be a better place if we were peppers. So I will leave a little clip of one of the David Naughton Dr. Pepper commercials here, and let's get to the rest of the show.
I drink Dr. Pepper and I'm proud. I'm part of an original crowd. And if you look around these days, there seems to be a Dr. Pepper craze. I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, we're a pepper. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper. If you drink Dr. Pepper, you're a pepper too. Be a pepper, drink Dr. Pepper. Be a pepper, drink.
Yeah, I mean, if we were in the multiverse, there's probably a place where we are all peppers.
See, if we were in the multiverse, yeah, David Naughton should have been in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, just in the Be a Pepper song singing.
If there's a universe where you're a soda, what soda are you?
Oh God, Pig Iron Cola, my favorite.
Pig Iron Cola, that's a good one.
I don't even know if it's made anymore.
I'm that Pepsi bottle from Back to the Future 2, the futuristic looking one.
That's a good one.
Zach's like the unicorn fart that they sell at Rocket Fizz.
I don't know. I was gonna say like a cherry Coke, or maybe the what is it? The cranberry ginger ale that they make during the holidays.
Oh, Zach's a urinary tract infection. That's great.
Welcome to another Mishbro podcast, Horror Decomposed. My name is Zach. Joining me as always, Professor Casey.
Hi.
Also Professor Chris Pistol.
Not anymore, son of a bitch.
Oh, not anymore. Never mind. The professor has left the building.
Now he's
No
the
more teaching
graduate,
classes.
Chris Pistol.
Now I'm unemployed, Chris Pistol.
Congratulations, Chris. Just finished grad school. How do you feel?
Tired. I want sleep.
That'll do it.
You look good, though, dude. You look good. Hair is luscious, as always.
Yes, very luscious. If we were a video podcast, people would be calling you Luscious Chris.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it like a couple days ago.
I like it. Much more than Zach, who keeps fixing his hair. It's bothering me. Stop it.
How did you guys? I gotta ask. How did you guys celebrate Friday the 13th? Because we just had a Friday the 13th. It's now Sunday the 15th. Sadly,
I had to work, and then I played the Evil Dead game a lot, which we'll talk about later. And I also watched Evil Dead. Yeah, I just watched regular Evil Dead. I watched Evil Dead 2 yesterday in luxurious 4K UHD, beautiful disc.
Chris, did you do anything fun for Friday the 13th?
I think that was my first day off, or my first day off after graduating grad school. So I didn't do shit all day long. I think I watched 3 movies, none of which were Friday the 13th movies, because I didn't realize it was Friday the 13th until probably like 3 in the afternoon.
I did wear my Friday the 13th Vans. 100%.
Hell yeah.
Should mention that.
I just found it sad that the movie rights are still really, really in a confusing place. Because I know the case just finished. Casey can probably explain it better than I can, because it was very hard, so you can decipher.
I'm sure we'll get a made for Paramount Plus some sort of show, just like, because that's what everything's doing now. We're not getting reboots as films anymore. Now we're just getting like the Chucky TV show, which I hear is good. I'm not hitting on the Chucky TV show at all, but that's kind of what we're moving towards now, is, for mid-budget stuff that still has like name recognition. So I'm sure we'll get like a Friday the 13th series of some kind on Paramount Plus.
There was one in development for a while, and then it ended up not happening because of the lawsuit. It was going to include some kind of multiversal look at Jason with like alternate versions, which I think is a good idea, and I've probably pitched on this show before, which is interesting.
The multiverse is very hot right now.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so a lot of people hate on this current Marvel phase for not having direction, but it's hard to have direction when you're in the process of buying back the rights to multiple characters that you lost the rights to other film companies, and then need to find a way to incorporate them, which I think this movie is at least moving towards doing. We'll get into spoilers a little bit. So this is the Raimirama because of Doctor Strange and the Evil Dead game. So we're going to talk about both. I think we should say that up front.
If you guys could make a prediction on when you think we'll see a new Friday the 13th, what would you say?
I'd say we see an X-Men movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe before we see a Friday the 13th movie.
I say we'll see another reboot of Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis in a sick bed. Jamie Lee Curtis like at death's door, but another reboot before we get another Jason movies.
Evil dies tonight.
But yes, as Casey said, this is a Raimirama. We are celebrating the one and only Sam Raimi.
He had a couple weeks, man, since our last episode. He got Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and a brand new Evil Dead game. That's just amazing.
So if you've been listening to this podcast for a bit, you know that sometimes we diverge from the horror path. And today's episode is a little horror adjacent because it's not every day that Sam Raimi directs a movie. And this week, he directed a superhero movie. Well, not this week, but a movie that he just directed a superhero movie that just came out. We only talked about one other superhero movie, or reviewed one other superhero movie on here, and that was Avengers Endgame. You can check that out.
Maybe we'll all shit on Morbius next time. It comes out on streaming tomorrow.
If you want to hear that, that's basically our first ever episode where all of us are together. It's the first one you'll find in our podcast stream. That's the exorcism of Avengers Endgame. It sounds terrible because the audio is really bad. But if you want to see,
say, boy, do I not remember that.
Yeah,
me either.
There's a reason. But yeah, today we're going to talk about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So let's get to it, huh? This is our feature scare.
If I could give this a little bit of background, those of you that listen to the show know I'm a huge comics fan, and I have been pretty much my whole life. Doctor Strange is one of my favorite characters, and so a movie like this is what I've probably been waiting for since I was a little kid. That's not to say that all the Doctor Strange comics are good. In fact, a lot of them are really bad, and his comics get canceled a lot. But there are some good runs in there. I recommend the original Ditko and Lee stuff. It's cheesy and they're short, but they're just beautiful. Steve Ditko's a freaking legend. And I also want to recommend the recent Strange Academy comics, where it's basically Doctor Strange Hogwarts, but in like a million times more interesting than the Harry Potter novels or movies ever were. And I was a fan of those. Check those out. Great stuff. If you can just pick up the first volume of Strange Academy, you'll be in a good place and you'll have a fun time. He's not even one of the main characters in it, but it's just great. Also Doctor Strange the Oath, really good. There's some stuff in there. I loved the first Doctor Strange movie, but I felt like it could be a lot more, and it needed to be weirder. It needed to be more strange. I feel like this movie actually delivered on that in a lot of ways, and it delivered a lot of things that Doctor Strange fans have really been wanting to see, even though they've had to change some of it around a little bit for the purposes of the movie for a couple different reasons. And yeah, as a fan, like, I don't know, have you guys ever seen the original Doctor Strange movie, the one from the 70s that was like a TV movie?
No. Does that have any correlation with the comics?
It does. It is supposed to be.
I've seen like Red Letter Media had it just on the table during their review.
Yeah, it was kind of a failed pilot, I think, that went into like a feature, like a TV telefeature. Wasn't great until Marvel's Doctor Strange came out. The best Doctor Strange movie was Dr. Mordred by Full Moon Pictures, which I still think is a pretty strong contender because Dr. Mordred is the shit. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but tremendous movie with stop motion dinosaur final battles, skeleton dinosaur final battles. Pretty tremendous. Love Full Moon. If Kev was on the show today, he would be gushing about it with me as well. But yeah, as far as this goes, I've been waiting for this movie because it kept getting delayed. And I was pretty excited about it. So before we get into spoilers, I just want to say I rated it way higher than these guys. I gave it a solid 5 ski on Letterboxd. I loved it. I felt like it was made specifically for me, though. You guys, as not comic fans, I think you might have some different stuff to say, so I will leave it to you guys.
Well, I kind of wanted to ask you guys, so how caught up are you with everything MCU? Have you watched all the series? Are you completely caught up? Are you behind on a couple
100%.
things?
Oh, actually, I haven't seen the last episode of Moon Knight yet, but that has nothing to do with the movie, so I'm good.
Yeah, I think I've seen everything except for Moon Knight, which I don't have any enthusiasm for.
Yeah, see, I'm a little behind on certain things. I still need to watch Loki. I still need to watch Hawkeye. I still need to watch Moon Knight. And I haven't seen Black Widow.
So Zach, you don't need to watch.
Legitimately fun.
Yeah, I mean, those shows are fun, but they're not needed for this movie. You just need to see WandaVision.
And I haven't seen any of What If either.
What If is heavily referenced in this movie, yeah.
I knew that.
Really.
So my issue with this film, and I had a really good time watching it, and it's a little MCU fatigue, which I know is talked about a lot, and a lot of people have it. I just think it's not a very self-contained movie, and as impressive as the MCU is and everything Kevin Feige and Marvel have done, creating this heavily serialized series of movies. It's just the barrier of entry of these films is getting so much higher. Like 20 years from now or whatever, like if you want to watch this movie, you need to have seen 20 plus films and a TV series. This really is a continuation of WandaVision as much as Doctor Strange.
Welcome to comic books, pal.
Yeah, which is great. But it's just like if you watch something, I watched Darkman. If you watch the Tim Burton Batman movies, those are self-contained films. Even something like other MCU movies, more like the origin ones, like Guardians of the Galaxy, even more recently like Shang-Chi, those are pretty self-contained films. You don't need to really
they're all the same movie. They're all the same movie.
They are, but I felt
times.
I just felt like they had
I'm not with hate. I'm saying it with love, with
Yeah.
LOVE.
I don't know. I felt like something like Shang-Chi had a little more of its own identity than this did. It was so MCU heavy and in a convergence of things, which is I really enjoyed. Don't get me wrong. It just didn't feel like it felt like it was really constrained by the MCU stuff to me, and I felt like I wanted to see more Raimi in it than I did. You can certainly see Raimi in it, don't get me wrong. But coming off of Darkman, I wanted to see more of that.
What's weird is you can see more Raimi in it if you watch Evil Dead 2 right after it, like I did.
Oh, you can see him, but it's like there's so much CGI in here. Let's talk about like there's a monster at the very beginning of the movie, not the eyeball guy at the very beginning of the movie. It looks terrible. Like, and I'm not like
the eyeball guy.
The eyeball guy looked better.
Guy, who they call Gargantos, which is totally Shuma Gorath, who's a great character.
We will get into
we'll
get into a spoiler section, so let's not talk about spoilers too much. I just the effects in the movie are okay, but there's like no practical effects at all, which I was a little disappointed in since it is a Raimi movie. Not that his Spider-Man films had a ton of practical effects, but a little more than this. It just felt very CGI heavy. And so I was a little bummed about that because I went on a Raimi marathon before this movie. So I was just hoping it was a little more visceral. There's been this whole PG-13 rated R discussion. I'm like, have you guys seen a rated R movie? What was rated R
the
about
people
this film?
debating it.
Yeah.
The people debating it only watch Marvel movies and forgot what a rated R movie is. I mean, there's like one hardcore kill in this movie, and it's not that hardcore. I mean,
yeah. If anything, the kills are just. The kills, I think, are just shocking or surprising in their context, and that's what's kind of affecting people more than the actual,
If you're looking for gnarly superhero kills, watch Brightburn, because this movie has nothing on that. That movie is pretty
yeah, but I mean, as far as an MCU movie, it's far and above all the others in that regard.
So sure. I know I'm sounding negative. This movie is a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the banter between Xochitl Gomez's character, America Chavez, who we're introduced to, and Benedict Cumberbatch, Doctor Strange. I thought they had a really cool kind of journey together. I thought they had fun banter. I would have liked to see more with that. But what's there is good, and I like their relationship, and I hope that's explored more in future MCU films. I hope they're teamed together more. Obviously Elizabeth Olsen, she owns most of this movie, but again I kind of felt like this was just sort of a truncated version of her arc on WandaVision.
It was actively shitting on her arc in WandaVision.
It was, but it was a continuation of that, but I felt like that explored her like inner turmoil a little better than this did. It's kind of like it just felt like a Clip Notes version of that
WandaVision, despite being this extension of the MCU, the WandaVision's lack of kind of budget for it being kind of a TV series really works in its favor because, that's a show where, you can have a longer runtime and you're not so built around action set pieces that you can have more character or at least subtleties in character arcs and, really dive deep into, what's going on with these characters and their psyche. This movie just is only sprinkling that in amongst all of these action set pieces because it's first and foremost got to be a big action movie to be able to even warrant it playing in theaters.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
There's a cool takeaway with Wanda that we can talk about with spoilers in just a minute, but
I feel like we've already gotten into spoilers. I mean, even mentioning Wanda and that she plays such a big part in this movie is because they really kept her out of the trailers in this.
Zach will put some time codes in our description so you can skip ahead if you want to hear some spoilers. But really quick, guys, how about you guys give your ratings really quick before we get into spoilers? I went for 5 ski. I know mine's way higher than yours. I saw yours, so I know this.
Go ahead, Chris. What were your general thoughts on it?
Casey, you should just on Letterboxd. You should start just only giving 5 stars or 1 star.
You know, lately I
make that your
probably
gimmick.
have been. Yeah, my gimmick is that my only liked film is Encino Man on there. That's my gimmick.
That you could be like B.D. Gerbinski, who only gives 5 stars, and if he doesn't like a movie, he just won't give it a star rating at all.
I had a habit on
jeez.
Letterboxd of like liking any movie that I gave a favorable review, and then I was like, wait a second, no, I can't. My like list is weird.
It's
So
getting
I
out of hand.
started unliking things.
I gave it a 3.5. I didn't feel like super strong about this movie in either direction. I had fun with it in the moment. A lot of that has to do with Sam Raimi and just honestly enjoying his little quirks. I mean, because some people are saying like, oh, this just feels like watered down Sam Raimi. I mean, maybe, but I mean, I feel like every director who has to make a movie like with this in this size and this scope is going to be, watering down some of their quirks. Like this is not an indie movie. I mean, so I enjoyed like all the Sam Raimi stuff that was kind of shining through it, and I mean, this movie has musical piano stings. It's so much fucking fun. I mean, there were so many
Music
moments
by
that made me feel like it was like Danny
Fucking
Elfman. There's so many moments like that made me feel like I was watching a movie from like 1999, which was just great.
And it's way more of a Raimi movie than Spider-Man, the Spider-Man trilogy.
It definitely
it's
feels
not.
like his personal.
No.
100%.
I 100%
I don't know. I don't know. I think I agree
No,
with Casey in this.
I disagree. Sorry. I watched Darkman. I watched Evil Dead 2. The first 2 Spider-Man Sam Raimi movies felt way more Raimi to me than this. This felt really MCU to me.
This movie has the exact same structure as Evil Dead 2, almost beat for beat.
I don't care. Like as far as like
both movies
style,
have an eyeball that gets plucked out
and
thrown
like
at
all the
somebody.
one-liners and stuff
Both
like that.
movies have Bruce Campbell beating the shit out of his own face.
The Spider-Man movies were Raimi, where he had more like full creative input, and this is okay. I'm under Kevin Feige's MCU approval ladder, approval, whatever. Like I like this movie, but I'm just saying the Spider-Man Raimi ones were way more Raimi to me than this. Yes, it has Bruce Campbell, and it has certainly good shenanigans that but like. I don't know. It just didn't feel like it looked as Raimi to me as some.
Well,
of his
there's
other
definitely like
films.
there's definitely like a. It's almost like this one has more Sam Raimi, sort of like calling cards. Like he's trying to get your attention. Like he's trying to wave at you. Like, hey, I'm back. I'm here.
Still,
I'm
but
back. I'm behind the camera.
I feel like even the way.
No, I'm not totally disagreeing with you, Zach. But I see what
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Like the Spider-Man movies do feel like more cohesive. Like it feels like one person's vision, or at least one connective voice. And this movie does feel like, yeah, we got a little bit of the Kevin Feige here and a little bit of Sam Raimi sprinkling in his stuff here.
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Then we get a forehead eyeball, and then it's full Raimi in my eyes.
Yeah, we'll get to the forehead eyeball. Is that in the comics, by the way? I think it is in some sort of.
I mean, there's times where your third eye opens, but it's not.
But
it's
yeah,
not
let's.
like that.
My rating was 3.5 as well. I'll get into kind of. I considered it 4, but there were a couple things I was a little disappointed in kind of how I concluded, and we can get into that in spoilers. So that's what brought it down to 3.5 for me. But I did think this was a really good time. I think if you like Sam Raimi at all, if you like Doctor Strange, if you're a fan of the MCU. You'll enjoy this one. It's an entertaining movie for sure, and there's some really cool action sequences. You meet some fun new characters. It's a good time for sure. So let's get into spoilers.
Okay.
Spoilers.
So first spoilers is, let's call this mark out moments. There were some parts that we knew the Professor X thing was coming from the teaser trailer, and then they released one that showed the fucking floating wheelchair in it, basically. But I was not expecting Danny Elfman to do the '90s X-Men theme. Yeah, that was dope.
Did you guys see Danny Elfman's Coachella set? Because holy shit,
Yes.
that was
I
amazing.
saw the picture
It was so
Yeah,
cool.
of him like
it was
shirtless.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
The Simpsons thing was amazing. The Fantastic Four thing was a big deal. I hope we get John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic in the actual movies.
I don't think we will.
I don't think we will either, but I would like to.
Oh, I bet
think
you
that-
will.
I think that was just like a nod to fan casting, because apparently he's been.
I
like,
mean-
a
Oh,
fan
no, it totally was,
favorite.
but I wouldn't mind him actually having that role.
So yeah,
I think he would be great at it.
So at one point in the movie, they Benedict Cumberbatch and Xochitl Gomez, they're running away from Elizabeth Olsen, who's trying to steal America Chavez's power so she can be with her kids in another dimension and kill the other self in this whatever dimension that she's with her kids. And so she needs America Chavez's powers to do that. And so they're chasing her, and they end up in another multiverse where Bruce Campbell
And
is
they get
a
imprisoned.
chicken bowl vendor or pizza.
So
bowl
check this
vendor.
out, though. This is what's
Um,
great, is they get captured, Zach.
Yeah.
When they get captured, the movie slows down to a halt. And when the movie slows down to a halt, all these people got up to take a piss, and they all miss Professor X and Mr. Fantastic. And it fucking tremendous. My
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, so we meet the Illuminati because in any multiverse that they go in, Doctor Strange is like, oh, well, let me just go to the Sanctorum or whatever and see what I'm doing. And he's dead in this multiverse, but there is like an Illuminati, and the guy who's in charge is a guy that's betrayed him before and kind of betrays him again. And then they meet the
Baron
Illuminati.
Mordo, yeah.
They meet the Illuminati, which is like a group of superheroes, and we got Charles Xavier, we have John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. We have Haley Atwell as Captain Carter, which is cool. And then Lashana Lynch from Captain Marvel. And she's Captain Marvel. So they're there. Oh, and we also have Black Bolt, who just
from
looks
the
kind of
Inhumans.
hilarious to me.
I mean, that's the exact comic costume. And then we get Mr. Fantastic, we get Professor X. So in the comics, it's Black Bolt, it's Tony Stark, Mr. Fantastic, Doctor Strange, Namor the Submariner, who they can't do. Apparently, Universal still has the rights to him. And then he's basically Marvel's Aquaman, but predates Aquaman. And Black Bolt, because he's the king of the Inhumans. There's no Captain America. There's no Captain Marvel. They have nothing to do with the Illuminati. But it was a cool way to get a couple characters in there from
Yeah,
the
and
What
I
If
guess
show.
the guy that played Black Bolt was the same guy that played him on the short-lived Inhumans TV show that wasn't supposed to be very good.
No, it wasn't, and no one cares about it. So it's like, okay, well, at least they made him more like the comics, which is what people wanted. But goddamn, this is the third time Chuck's been murdered. It's kind of interesting.
Who?
In different timelines. Charles Xavier
Oh,
murdered like 3 different
I still have to
times.
see
Yeah,
Logan.
that's what.
Movies.
As soon as he died, I like whispered to my wife like, he died again.
So Wanda kind of goes full murder hobo in this and takes out a lot of characters, but they're not real people because they're from an alternate reality, I guess. It doesn't count.
Yeah, even though that reality is super fucked now.
Yeah. The funny thing is, though, is they keep saying that if Doctor Strange happens to be in this reality for too long, he'll cause an incursion, which is when 2 universes collide and weird shit happens. That's actually happened in the comics. That was the whole basis for the Secret Wars, which, not the one in the 80s that the toys were based on, but a more recent Secret Wars.
Which
And
is what everyone says they're leading to now.
it's because it makes sense, right? Because it's what brought Miles Morales from the Ultimate Universe into the regular universe. Okay? So an incursion is what can bring the X-Men and Fantastic Four from whatever universe they're in into the MCU. And it would make sense. Because the Fantastic Four is easy. Okay? So to bring the Fantastic Four in, you can just have them start as a new team, all right? They don't have to be like this team of superheroes that's been around forever. The problem is with the mutants is they're born with their powers, so they would have had to exist this whole time in order to be grown superheroes.
Can the Mystery Men be part of this multiverse?
No,
Please.
no Pee-wee.
Oh, come on, man. His
spleen.
superpower is a fart. How could you not love that?
Smelted doses. If and when
Holy
you
shit, Chris, that was a good impression.
It was.
whenever anyone smelt it, I would be the one who does it. It's the best
Oh,
part.
come on, dude.
Uh,
And Hank Azaria as a
if
fork
and-
guy.
if-
It's the best.
Zach,
It's
if
so
and-
good.
if and when you watch Loki, and you definitely should, because it's probably my favorite of the MCU shows so far. The ending
it's
of
the
that
best one
the ending
so
of
far,
that season, the ending of that season gives you sort of
Loki.
a glimpse of where they're kind of heading with this on a bigger level.
Yeah.
I think.
Mm.
We still have Kang looming over us. Yeah,
Mhm.
and what's interesting though is the post-credit scene that we got to see Clea finally, Doctor Strange's girl in the comics forever, and she's played by Charlize Theron.
I had
which is
no idea who
interesting.
that character was.
Yeah.
Well, she's like the second most important person in Doctor Strange that isn't Doctor Strange, basically.
I'm gonna be honest. I completely forgot that Rachel McAdams was a character in the first Doctor Strange. Like it's been too long since I've seen
too.
it, and I was like, oh,
and Michael
she was in that?
and Michael Schulberg.
I was still waiting for her to secretly get revealed as Clea, so I've been waiting this whole time, and now we have Clea as a separate person, and we have Doctor Strange with an eyeball on his forehead, which
Well, that's
is
okay, because Rachel McAdams looks like she'd rather be anywhere else than in this movie.
She was good.
yeah. I don't know. Her scenes were all in front of like a horrible green screen, probably too. Like,
yeah, she looked just terribly bored through the whole movie. Michael Stuhlbarg though was like in this movie for like 30 seconds, and I was like, "What the fuck is he doing here?" And then I realized, and then I remembered, oh yeah, he was in the first movie.
Yeah. And we definitely got Benedict Wong as Wong.
He was good.
And
I was glad they
he's
gave him a
great
little
because-
fuller role in this one than because he's had
Yeah.
a lot of cameo kind of appearances.
Well,
I feel
him
like,
being
and-
the Sorcerer Supreme now is a huge deal.
yeah, he still gets his ass kicked. But
Yeah.
Supreme.
I mean,
He's
most
resilient.
of the other Sorcerer Supremes aren't as good as Doctor Strange. There were a lot of things I was hoping would happen that they've kind of maybe not teased, or it's just wishful thinking on my part. We did not get Man-Thing, unfortunately. We did not get Brother Voodoo, even though they've kind of name dropped him a little bit in the past. He becomes Sorcerer Supreme. He's a pretty sweet character.
we did get zombie Doctor Strange, which was fun.
We did,
Yes.
because Marvel Zombies was pretty great.
And he talks exactly like a Sam Raimi zombie in any movie.
Yeah,
he
and
talks-
I love the look they gave him with half his face missing. It was great.
Mhm. He sounded like every skeleton in Army of Darkness.
Or Darkman, just in general
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
he
sound like
he
it.
likes to guide people to speak a certain way when they don't have lips, I think, is the thing.
Yeah.
And,
Pretend your throat is full of gravel.
Yeah. Oh gosh. A Darkman cameo would have been great.
Hmm.
Because if you think about it,
That would have been
Bruce
cool.
Campbell was essentially Ash. I mean, he was just punching himself in the face. We've all seen it.
It wouldn't be a Sam Raimi movie without a Bruce Campbell cameo, and I was not disappointed. He plays a pizza bowl vendor in this multiverse that sells these pizza bowl things, and
Papa Pizza.
Did we get a Ted cameo? Because he wasn't Rintra, which I was very disappointed that Ted wasn't Rintra.
I didn't notice Ted if he's in the movie. What about the
I
car?
didn't see him.
Rintra is the Minotaur that was at the school, by the way. The green Minotaur.
Yeah. Anyway, so Doctor Strange and Bruce have like an interaction, and he kind of they're like, I think he tries to take a bowl for free or something like that, or it's supposed to be free, but he gets agitated at him, and so Doctor Strange puts a spell on him where he just punches himself over and over again until the spell wears off. And it's just
in the
Bruce
second
doing-
post-credit
yeah.
scene, yes.
It's just Bruce doing, his Evil Dead 2 stuff, and it's fantastic. And I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I mean, as far as must-see post-credit scenes. It's not one, but it is. And but the first post-credit scene, the mid-credit scene rather, is pretty important.
It is, but as far as post-credit scenes, it was a little like, okay.
You're not thinking of the implications, Zach.
I looked up what it was going to be to see if it would be worth sitting through the credits to watch it, and it was worth it.
The Bruce Campbell one was worth it for me, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, anything with Bruce Campbell, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to wait through the credits.
That mid-credits, the incursion thing's important. It's how you're going to get your X-Men. It's how you're going to get your Wolverine. Keanu for Wolverine, do it, bub.
Keanu?
That's all I gotta say.
You don't think they're going to bring back Hugh?
No, you don't
he's
bring
gonna
back
be old
Hugh.
man. He's going to be old man Wolverine again?
You gotta
Didn't
see,
want a young,
unless
sexy
they're
Wolverine.
unless they're not cowards and they cast someone short, like they're supposed to, because Wolverine is 5'3". Hugh Jackman was over a foot too tall for that role. Just saying. Also, what bothered me about this movie is they called the universe the 616. That's the comics universe. This is clearly a different universe than the comics universe, so it is not the 616. So maybe it's an alternate universe that just numbers the universes wrong. But apparently that piece of shit movie, Thor the Dark World, which none of us remember because it was a piece of shit, also called it the 616. But we've all blocked that movie completely out of our memories and remember nothing about it.
Well, Avengers Endgame, it insists that it exists, that you remember it.
I heard there was some book that said this universe was Earth 199999, and so that's what was taken as canon, and this was the first time it was Earth 616. But honestly, I could really care less.
It's important,
I understand
Zach. There's a
how
distinction
it's
for a
important
reason.
to, the fans. Oh, whatever.
There's a distinction for a reason. It's like DC doesn't do that shit. And you look at the state their movies are in. They call everything Earth 1, Earth 2, and it just all matches up with the comics, you know? But they're still clearly different. And you see the state that their movie's in. They can't even have their heroes not commit fucking horrible crimes. They're going to have to redo half a movie because of The Flash. They're robbing us of our fucking Michael Keaton as Batman again is what they're doing.
We have other stuff to get to, so let's wrap up our thoughts on this. The reason my rating dipped a little bit is I just felt the finale, specifically the climax with Elizabeth Olsen with Scarlet Witch, was a little weak, specifically her end, whatever, which is her bringing down the cave she's in. I forget what it's called, where she's
Wundagore Mountain.
Yeah. And I just
the
felt
House
like
of
it felt like a kind of unceremonious end. I don't think that's the last you're going to see of her, maybe for a little bit, but she's going to come back.
No, she's not dead.
And then I also just felt like the end point of the movie where all of a sudden Strange walks out and then like an eye blurts out of his head. It was really sudden. It was just kind of like, oh, that
It was kind of hilarious, though.
Yeah.
I kind of loved it.
That's the Evil Dead 2 ending right there.
I don't mind like that.
Ending.
I don't mind like that as an ending. I just would have liked a more extended sequence before it gets to that. Like maybe he's in the middle of a presentation or something rather than just like in the middle of the street. I didn't mind that as an ending. Like that's fun. But like I felt like they could have drawn it out a little bit longer and like made it more dramatic than it was, because it was just sort of, he leaves the building and then he like barely crossed the street and then it happens and it's like, oh, okay, that was kind of quick.
I have a feeling that was not the original ending and something got changed.
Oh, yeah. Apparently there were a lot of reshoots on this.
Yeah.
But I gotta say though, Raimi's been on my mind lately because the Evil Dead game was coming out on the 13th. And so I've been watching the Evil Dead movies and Ash vs. Evil Dead and all that stuff. And this game fucking nailed it, dude. I gotta say. So it's a pretty good license. And so, Chris, we'll tell you how the game works, and the listeners, those of you that don't know. But there's a whole genre of horror games. It's the asymmetrical horror game, okay? Which basically is you play online, primarily. You play with a group of your friends, either as a group of people that are the survivors trying to escape or defeat the monster, or the monster themselves, okay? And so the biggest one to begin with, well, there was that one that was on PlayStation 3 that barely anyone played, and I can't think of the name of it, that kind of started off the genre, but it wasn't a big deal. And then
Evolve?
Friday the 13th...
Evolve?
Evolve, yes, that's it. And then Friday the 13th kind of stole all of its ideas and came out and was the one that was kind of on everyone's mind. Then Dead by Daylight came out, which featured Leatherface, Michael Myers, and shitty remake Freddy as DLC characters, and Ash, actually. There was an Ash versus Evil Dead scenario as well. That game didn't really do a service. It felt like they were slapping licenses on an established gameplay instead of trying to have the gameplay work with the license. Mm-hmm. And so I think Evil Dead does a great job, like Predator Hunting Grounds did, of specifically tailoring this kind of gameplay to the license. We've talked about Predator Hunting Grounds on the show before, but Evil Dead centers around you playing as either a group of 4 survivors or as a Kandarian demon that is basically primarily the point of view camera from the Evil Dead movies, with the growling and the moving through the forest. And then you possess things, you set traps, and every once in a while you spring a boss monster, which could be Evil Ash or Henrietta or the puppeteer from Ash vs. Evil Dead. And the demon's basically screwing with the other players, and the demon's pretty powerful. And most of the times I played the demon won. But I had some incompetent teammates, and I started playing with Zach, and I started playing with our friend Byron, and I started winning. In fact, the game that Zach and I played first was my first win. And Zach, was it your first online win too?
I actually won the game before, but it wasn't because of me. I was like dead, and there was one guy on our team that was literally just by himself. Everyone else had perished, and he was just destroying deadites left and right, and he won the game by himself, basically.
I have come within 30 seconds of winning before, but I have not won before.
Yeah.
So basically, the way that you win is if you're the demon, you just kill everyone, right? Or you destroy the Necronomicon in the last phase. If you're the humans, first thing you got to do is you got to find 3 pieces of the map telling you where the torn out pages. It basically follows the plot of Evil Dead 2. You got to get the pages of the Necronomicon, and then you have to get the Kandarian dagger, and then you have to fight some spirits that are guarding it, and then you have to defend the Necronomicon while the portal opens, okay? And this whole process takes like what, Zach? Like 20 to 30 minutes a game usually?
It's about it's a 30-minute game, I think.
Like time limit wise.
It's a huge map. It goes lots of Evil Dead locations. There's a gas station. There's the cabin, obviously. I mean, they expanded it a bit, but it's...
I was gonna say, you said when you say lots of Evil Dead locations, I'm like the cabin, the cabin.
Lots of cabins.
The shed. And
you could not go inside S-Mart.
The shed is there.
S-Mart is not there yet.
They are going to add a castle Army of Darkness map, apparently.
Yeah, that's next on Castle Kandar. And then they do have some Ash versus Evil Dead stuff too. I do love that there's a location called Harry's Houses. Nice little Harryhausen reference there. I just love it.
That's fun. Yeah.
There's like a crashed airplane that's Flight 666. There's some fun stuff. And there's basically random spawn points. You can play as characters from all 3 Evil Dead movies and Ash vs. Evil Dead, which took an insane amount of legal wrangling probably, because all of the Evil Dead stuff has different licensing, to the point where the Evil Dead box set does not have Army of Darkness in it now. It has Evil Dead 1 and 2 and Ash vs. Evil Dead. No Army of Darkness. So they managed to wrangle all that stuff for the game when they can't for the movies. You have to buy all the 4K stuff separately because of that. Well, minus Army of Darkness anyway. And it's pretty great. So there's 4 different classes of characters. As long as you pick a character from each class, you can be duplicate Ashes. It's possible to play as 4 Ashes, which I kind of hate, but you can play as Ash from each incarnation.
Yeah, I've been rocking with Ash from Ash vs. Evil Dead, so I guess old Ash. If you
I play as Henry the Red from Army of Darkness pretty much exclusively, and he's my favorite character.
Feels like a Casey pick.
Yeah, he's kind of a tank. I kind of love that guy. Byron, our friend, plays as Cheryl, everyone's favorite tree rape victim. actually. Yeah, she's in there.
So you can level up your characters. It's way more in depth than you would probably think for a game like this. You can level up your characters. You can also level up your basic profile. But you level up your characters. They have different abilities. Within the match, you can actually level yourself up within the match to like upgrade your health and your melee.
Yeah,
and
if you
your
drink
fear meter, things like that.
If you drink Pink Fuck from Ash vs. Evil Dead, you level up your skills.
Those are just like upgrades within the match, though, not like your.
Which I think was like
That's
moonshine mixed with ketamine or something like that on the show.
Yeah.
And leads to some funny reactions from the characters when they drink it.
As far as how like the game handles, the camera's a little sensitive. There aren't a lot of there's not a lot of customization options. Unfortunately, you can't really adjust too much in the settings. It's a little more zoomed in maybe to your character than ideally I would like.
There are some field of view fixes on the PC that I don't think we get.
Yeah, you can't adjust the field of view, unfortunately. The dodge is not great. It works, but it's very like you have to be around an enemy to use it. Really, there's no block button, so it's a little.
There is
janky,
a dodge though. Yeah,
but the combat feels good. There are finishing moves that are like specific to different characters and different weapons. Those all work well. It's a fun game.
The online,
also,
online's fucking silky smooth though. Like especially compared to some of the other games I've played. When it's working, because it went down twice this weekend.
Does Bruce Campbell narrate the that section that shows you how to play the game?
No,
like Spider-Man the video game.
No, but he is himself.
He should.
The person that's talking to you and telling you what to do is the actual professor's voice from the audio tapes in Evil Dead 1 and 2, though.
Nice. I definitely, way back in the day, I definitely played the Spider-Man video game without realizing that it was Bruce Campbell doing all of the narrating.
So
did you guys ever play the Evil Dead game where he had the little person named Sam that would fight with him?
No. But
it's
I've heard of it.
pretty good. Pretty good.
There are also, if you're looking for like single player content, there are
There's
like
not
missions.
much.
There are missions. Like the first mission is you have to dig up Linda's body and get her head, and bring it to the shed and take care of it there. But it's like a whole process to
And the missions are hard as fuck and don't have checkpoints. If they put checkpoints in, they would be fine. And I kind of hope that gets patched in, because you need to do the missions to unlock some of the characters. So you needed to unlock Ash from Ash vs. Evil Dead. You needed to unlock Pablo from Ash vs. Evil Dead, and you needed to unlock
Arthur.
Yeah, Arthur from Army of Darkness, who's a pretty badass character that I haven't got yet, because he can start with a sword, and that's kind of a big deal. And he has like a flaming sword attack for his circle button move. He's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
overall, early impressions, but I'm pleasantly surprised by it. These games can be pretty wonky, and this one feels pretty tight. They clearly put a lot of time.
There's definitely progression. Like Friday the 13th was janky as fuck. Predator had it in there. Like their online wasn't anywhere near as smooth as this. And the crossplay works great. We've been playing with people on PC and PlayStation and computer. We gotta talk about who we played with, Zach.
Oh, so even if you have a party, if you don't have 4 people, they're gonna get, there's gonna be someone else that you don't know that you're playing with. And so Casey's good buddy Byron, and I had a match, and we were partnered with what sounded like, I don't know, a 6-7-year-old kid.
Yeah, and whose dad was playing with them, and they kept saying, "I killed a guy, Dad," and we're like, "Good job, little dude." We were being nice and trying not to swear too much. And
then he disconnected.
The kid disconnected halfway through our game, so we were fucking pissed. We lost because that kid left. And then so we start a new game, and we get matched with the fucking kid again. Okay, this is random matching.
It was someone else, wasn't it? But it sounded like another kid. But it ended up being
I
his
think
dad
it
that
might
was
have been
playing.
the same kid, but then his dad
Kids
played.
love the Evil Dead, guys.
And his dad was like the best player.
Yeah, his dad was really good, and kind of just stopped playing with us. Probably had us all muted because we kept just talking shit to each other the whole time. And Yeah, I don't know, man. We were a good team. Iron forges iron. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so if you like that kind
Iron
of stuff,
sharpens iron, I should
even
say.
if you're not into multiplayer games, it is a good time. I do recommend if you have friends playing with friends, it's more fun. But the missions they were better than I would have thought. It's repetitive, but it's a good kind of repetitive. So
Yeah, it's pretty fun, and I've got my Henry the Red. Iron sharpens iron.
And it's cool to explore like the cabin from Evil Dead, and you see like the cellar door going up and down.
It opens, and every once in a while the deer head will start yelling.
Seeing
shit
Henrietta's fun,
No, Henrietta's not fun, Zach.
She's creepy.
Because I got my Henry. He's level 20 now. I'm almost like to where I have his max skills and everything.
Yeah.
The game before we played, I got motorboated to death by Henrietta. That's one of her moves. Is she just goes, blah, 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 grabs your head, and I died. That's humiliating.
She's just giving you what you want, Casey.
That's not what I want. No, thank you. So the game was, support Henry the Red. That's how he went in that game. But yeah, so Evil Ash though, kind of a chump, I gotta say. Henry owns that guy. I'm just saying.
Closing thoughts. We have other stuff to get to.
Okay, dude, I love it, and I'm gonna keep playing it, and I can't wait for the next map to drop, so I have more places to chump out Evil Ash with my soon-to-be level 25 Henry the Red.
Sure, I am definitely looking forward to playing more of it. Okay, so if you listened to the last episode, our halfway to Halloween kind of episode, you know that we asked you a couple questions, and some of you responded.
Yeah,
and so I'm gonna share a few answers. Chris, you
no,
weren't
we
here
got
for
a
this
good
episode.
candy answer. We got a really good candy
Chris,
answer.
you weren't here for this episode, but I want to ask you these questions as well because we were celebrating. We are a little over halfway to Halloween now, so I'm curious. These are sort of predictive kind of questions. So, Chris,
Curious.
before we get to our reader responses, one, what do you think the most popular Halloween costume will be in 2022?
Most popular Halloween costume in 2022. Damn. I wish I got these questions beforehand. I could have formulated a clever response.
Any educated guess?
Oh, man. I hope it's zombie Doctor Strange.
Okay, so that's your what should it be?
That'll be fun.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I think mine's...
Or
mine
Papa
was
Pizza.
I'm
going to be Papa Pizza, that's for sure.
And if you could design your own Halloween candy, what would it be?
My own Halloween candy.
Mm-hmm. Packaging and all.
Oh, packaging. Fuck, I don't know. It would just be orange. It would be orange and yellow and red. I don't know. Just like take a bunch of Reese's cups and just like mash them together into a giant ball. Yeah, and then just like fucking dip that shit in more chocolate. And then yeah, it's good.
It's Reese's balls.
And then like coat it in the apple, the sour apple coating from those sour apple suckers. There you go.
Sour apple Reese's balls?
Yeah,
Reese's
sour
balls.
apple
Put our
Reese's
balls in your mouth.
Okay.
TM.
Reese's.
Okay. Bye,
Balls
Chris.
in your mouth. TM.
Okay. Good answer, Chris. Good answer. I like it. I like it. Outside the box. Okay,
I kind of liked one we got on Twitter, actually, Zach.
Yeah, let's get to the Twitter one. So we have 3 responses to share. Thank you guys for everyone that responded. Really, really appreciate
Yes,
it.
thank you.
First is at Texan Spaniard Studios. They have actually a podcast, so make sure to follow those guys on Twitter. They are friends of ours. He responded to both questions. So
Mark Out Mania is the name of the podcast,
Yeah.
by the way. I've been
Casey
on it
has been
multiple
on it.
times.
Yeah. So the most popular Halloween costume will be in 2022. Their answer was either Alejandro Romero from the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial or the judge from the trial. I'm sure there will probably be some costumes.
I
from
think
that
it's going to
trial.
be the turd
The-
now. Now I think it's going to be the shit.
I'm not going to comment too much on that trial. It's a lot of things. But let's get to
entertaining.
let's get to his second answer. If you could design your own Halloween candy, what would it be? He said zombie Kit Kats, pink colored with white chocolate coating with green wafer and cream inside. That's a good idea, and seems pretty
I love
likely that's
it.
something they would do.
And I would eat it, but you have to be very careful because of those zombie Skittles that intentionally tasted bad. So you have to tell people zombie Kit Kat still tastes good. You know what I mean?
I think my only adjustment would be that the cream inside should be red.
Yeah,
Like blood, right?
I'd go for it.
But
Yeah,
I
I'm
like
down for
that.
that.
I like that. Thank you, Texan Spaniard Studios. Really, really appreciate that, man. Really good
Thanks, brother.
response.
It's a
And,
good response too.
yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
So our next reader answer is from @ResidentAwful. They are another horror podcast, and definitely check those guys out. Really cool show. So thank you so much for responding. They responded to who do you think the most popular Halloween costume will be in 2022? When their answer was it's going to be a tie between Michael Myers and sexy Michael Myers. Yeah, there's always a Michael Myers and a sexy Michael Myers. That's a pretty safe bet.
I have so many jokes about what dies tonight that I'm not gonna make. Oh man.
Is it too late to change my answer to Amber Heard pooping?
Yeah,
On a
probably. Nah. There's I do know that Zagoni Studios does have the pants with the shit stain on the back. Just so everyone knows. Get ready. Trick or treat.
Okay, and our last response is from @ZeusKingDark. And he responded to both questions. So to the what do you think the most popular Halloween costume will be in 2022? His answer was he hopes that we get some vampire costumes from Night Teeth, which would just be club outfits and vampire teeth. That is a show on Netflix. I have not seen Night Teeth. No, it's a movie. It's a movie.
Yeah.
I have not seen it, but I will check it out. Thank you for letting me know about it.
Reminds me of that Buffy maze I went through.
Yeah, it looked kind of interesting. And then as far as if you could design your own Halloween candy, what would it be? @ZeusKingDark said, I'd make body part looking candy filled with gushers and then realistic fingers with a hard candy fingernail and crunchy candy bones.
I'm good with it. I like
That's
both
good
of those
stuff.
ideas.
Yeah.
Zeus is also from Markout Mania. Good friends of the show. Good friends of mine. Love you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, really good answers. He also chimed in and said there's a blueberry muffin Kit Kat out there right now, which I need to find because that sounds good.
Bro, yes. I'm down.
Poor. But yeah, thank you so much for everyone again that responded to us and answered. We'd love to do more of that. So please reply to us if you listen to the show.
Thanks for
answer
nothing
us.
to Byron and Kevin, you pieces of fucking garbage. You know, I always said we're a team and iron sharpens iron, but you know what? You can sharpen your own iron, motherfuckers. Leave that in, Zach.
Wait a minute, guys. Did you hear that ominous sound and or buzzer that I'm going to insert in post? Do you know what that
the fuck
means?
was that?
Is it the Purge?
It means it's time for a surprise round of Ultimate Horror Trivial Pursuit.
Bring
dear
it,
God.
bitch.
So we last
do
did
this.
this on Christmas Eve, and I figured it's just about time.
Ruined
bring
my
it
whole
back.
holiday.
No.
So I have a stack of cards, guys. Here's what we're going to do. It's going to be the first to three because we don't have time for five. Let's do first to three. And what we're also going to do is to win this, you have to get one answer right from a different category. So it can't be the same category like you guys are doing last time. To win the actual game, you have to get 6 answers right from all 6 categories. So you guys have to get 3 answers right from 3 different categories. I have a good stack of cards
dear
here.
God.
So let's play.
First to 33 wins.
I'm going to think of a number between 1 and 10 to decide who goes first. I have a number. Casey, name a number.
6.
Chris, pick a number.
4.
Casey wins. It was 7. Okay, Casey, you get to go first. So our categories are
Slashers.
Okay, go with slashers. Let me make sure I have the categories. Hold on.
I know slashers was a category.
I know slashers and comedy, but I realize the cards don't actually have the key. They just have symbols, and I don't know what they mean. Okay. So yeah, your
Zach,
categories...
well prepared for this segment.
I'm totally well prepared. Your categories are paranormal, monster, gore disturbing, psychological, comedy, and slasher.
Slasher!
Slasher. Okay. Do you want the card I have in my hand, or do you want
Yes.
a different
In your hands. I've already read the answer off the back.
card? Which rock star directed the remake of Halloween 2007?
That would be Rob Zombie. Thank you very much, a.k.a.
You're
Robert
correct.
Cummings.
That was an
Boom.
easy one.
Okay,
All right, Chris,
so now I got to
was
do
that
some
an
other
easy
categories.
one? I couldn't tell.
That was an easy one. Chris, do you want to keep this card or change cards? You cannot pick slasher if you keep this card.
I'll keep the card.
So you have comedy, psychological, gore disturbing, monster, and paranormal.
Comedy.
Comedy, all right. Comedy is which Jaws star had a role in Piranha 3D? Came out in 2010.
Come on.
Wait, is this a star of Jaws 1?
Yes.
Or star in 1? Oh. That would be Richard Dreyfuss.
Yep. Bing, 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 bing. So
The only one still alive when that movie came out.
Well,
Simple.
All right,
I
Casey.
did see that movie in the theaters, but I don't fucking remember anything about
So
it.
Casey, you have
you don't
one
remember?
right from these...
You don't remember fucking My Secret Identity getting his dick eaten? Jesus,
I remember lots of boobs. That's all I remember in that movie.
they ate Jerry O'Connell's dick, bro. Fuck.
So Casey, you have one correct from the slasher category. Chris, you have one correct from the comedy category. So neither of you can pick those categories anymore. Casey, do you
Okay.
want to keep this card? You have psychological, gore disturbing, monster, and paranormal left. If you choose a new card, you could also take
Give me-
comedy.
Monster.
Monster on
on
the
that
same
card.
card. Okay. What creatures does the Grimm police detective Nick Burkhart battle in the Grimm TV series from 2011 to 2017? If you get this, I'll be very surprised.
I do not fucking know. Elves.
No, they're called Wesson, which I don't even know what the hell that means. So I actually think I saw an episode or two of this show and then I dropped out of it. All right, Chris, there are still 3 categories left on this if you want. Psychological, gore disturbing, or paranormal, or you can switch to a new card and you would have monster and slasher
Gore.
available to you as well. Gore, okay.
Gore.
Whose head did the cannibals taunt Miles with by eating it in front of him in Drifter? This came out in 2016. I've never heard of this
What?
movie.
The actor or the character?
Whose head did the cannibals taunt Miles with by eating it in front of him in Drifter? Sounds gnarly though, whatever movie it is.
Richard Dreyfuss.
His mother.
No, his brother Dominic. Oh, you know what? We didn't do the steal thing anymore. Should we do steals? Do you guys want?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
no
It's
steals. No
fine.
steals. Okay.
We get more
well,
questions if we don't do steals.
there are paranormal and psychological still left on this card if you want, Casey, or you can choose a new one.
I want a new one, and I want gore disturbing.
All right. In The Hills Have Eyes, 2006, what Californian city is the Carter family traveling to?
Oh, they are traveling to Joshua Tree.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
No, they're going to San Diego.
Ah. Damn.
Chris, you
They
can
really
choose,
got lost.
Psychological, slasher, monster, or paranormal. Or you can choose a new card.
Let's
if you want.
go monster.
Monster. In Fright Night, 1985, what is the name of the neighbor Charlie suspects is a vampire?
Fuck.
Casey's wishing he had that steal option now.
No, I fucking blanked on it. I don't know.
Peter Vincent is the guy who
I need
helps
the
him.
character name, not the actor name.
Peter Vincent is a character and a completely different character.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just letting him know.
It's the fucking guy from Princess Bride.
That would be Chris Sarandon, yeah.
Is it Alucard?
No. That is the name of my dog's dad, though.
How do I know like every character but his name?
His name is Jerry Dandridge.
Yeah, it's like I
No.
know every other character. Jesus. You know why? Because I
All
read
right.
the Fright Night comic where Evil Ed was the main bad guy.
All right, Casey, you have psychological, comedy, and paranormal left on this card, or you can choose a new one.
Give me comedy. Let's try it. Let's see.
In the television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
Ah,
who usually trains a Slayer in their duties?
The
Steal.
Master.
Steal.
There's no steals.
I want to
don't
steal
know.
it.
That is wrong. It is Watchers.
Watchers, not
Damn it,
Masters.
Zach.
My bad.
Let me steal it.
If you'd agreed on stealing, I would have let you steal.
I didn't say no. Casey
Casey
more
said no.
questions.
Yeah. Okay. So you have psychological and paranormal left on this card, Chris, or you can change.
Paranormal.
Paranormal. In the Innkeepers, how many rooms on the second floor of the hotel are still in use? This is a fucking random one. I was gonna know
Yeah, I love that. I love that movie, but I haven't seen it in forever.
I saw it recently, actually.
Is it
How many
13?
rooms?
No, it is 4 rooms.
What the fuck? It's not even a cool number. What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's a really random
It's a
question.
good movie, though, but who the fuck's gonna remember that? Okay.
Okay, there is only one question you can use left.
I need
on
a
this
new
card,
card,
Casey.
Zach.
A new card.
I need a
Okay.
new card. I need paranormal on the new card,
You
Zach.
probably would have gotten that one right too. Oh well.
Give me a Buffy
Okay,
question.
so you have psychological, comedy, gore disturbing,
Paranormal.
monster, and paranormal.
Paranormal.
What is the name? Oh, this you might know this one, Casey. What is the name of the Marvel Comics imprint Clive Barker created in the mid 1990s?
Oh, that was Razorline?
You got it correct. That is right.
Yes.
Razorline.
That's a pretty
2-1.
obscure fucking question,
2-1.
by the way.
It is. It is. These are some obscure ones. All right, Chris, you have monster, gore disturbing, psychological, and slasher left on this card.
Let's do Monster again.
Monster. Or you can choose a new one if you want a paranormal question. Monster. Oh, wait. Yeah. What book is known as the Vampire Bible in True Blood? I wouldn't know this.
Never
I watched
seen True Blood in my entire life.
Steal.
It's a good show.
Steal.
Well, the first couple seasons are good.
Now you want to
Steal.
steal, Casey.
It's
The
do you have a guess, Chris?
Necronomicon.
It is Book of the Vampire, yeah. Casey, for all the marbles, you have gore disturbing, comedy, and psychological left on this card.
Okay. Gore disturbing.
All right, Casey, for the win. In the Chuck Palahniuk, I can't say his name, Palahniuk novel,
Chuck Palahniuk.
Haunted, Saint Gutfrey lost what part of his body in a pool masturbation accident?
Oh, it was his asshole.
His
It might
asshole
say
was
his
the answer?
intestine. It might be say his small intestine, but it was like his butthole got stuck on the thing and it ripped out. And yeah.
Casey, I'm going to give it to you. It says intestine. Congratulations, Casey. You are the winner of this round.
Yeah, Chucky P.
Trivial Pursuit.
Woo!
Guys, that means you are tied at a game apiece, so we're going to have a sudden death round next time. But that'll be in the future, and I will surprise you at an unknown date.
Handsome Chucky P always coming through for me, baby. Woo!
Thank you so much, everybody that is tuned in. As always, make sure to follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/AMPHorror. Guys, where can they find you?
At Lucha Gringo on Twitter and Letterboxd. And PlayStation Network. Look me up in the little social tab on Evil Dead, and you can play with me and Zach, who is Earth number 2 Zach. Yes.
On Twitter and Letterboxd. At Chris Pistol. Chris with a K, Pistol with a E.
Yeah, and you can find me on my personal Twitter account, twitter.com/Earth2Zach, Earth, the number 2 Zach, Z-A-K, also on Instagram and Letterboxd under the same handle. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube page as well. That's under Another Miserable Podcast, Horror Decomposed. And also check out our website, anothermiserablepodcast.com. You'll find all the streaming services we are available on there. And if you enjoy what we do, consider leaving us a nice review on Apple Podcasts or whatever streaming service you listen to us on. We would really, really appreciate that. That would be awesome. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, as always, guys. We have more cool stuff in the works. As always, send us recommendations. Write us. We'd love to hear from you. Write us at anothermiserablepodcast@gmail.com. If you have anything you'd like to hear us talk about, movies, recommendations, we'd love to hear all of that. So write us, anothermiserablepodcast@gmail.com. Any parting words, guys?
Iron sharpens iron.
Bye.
Bye. Scintillating. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Take it easy.